Hi everyone, welcome to Soul Talk with Sonia. Thank you for joining me. So you all know I have a passion for single ladies as you all wait with God to meet your spouse. And so I just want to help you all because I want you to marry who God has assigned to you, not someone who you chose. And we talked about last video, the fastest way to derail your purpose is to marry the wrong person. God wants you to marry who He has for you. And sometimes when we are impatient, we make bad decisions. We end up, dating, courting someone that was never our assignment. And I don't want you to end up being with all this time to be married, and you're married and you're miserable. And so it's best to obey God and do it His way. So today we're talking about what to do while you're waiting on God to send the one. So, my plan was to be married at 25, first baby at 28, second by 30, then get married till I was 46. About to celebrate 2 years of my anniversary. I'll tell my age, that's okay. And so there was a lot of waiting. I was impatient a lot. And, it's hard when you see your other girlfriends getting married, going to these bridal showers, then you start going to baby showers, and it's like, what about me, God? When is gonna be my time? And you feel abandoned by God, left out, forgotten, and you're like, God, and then you feel, let me talk about me. That's how I felt. All those different emotions. Am I being punished? What did I do? Did I do something wrong? And so you can get so discouraged. But when you're weary, you have to continue to do well, right? Don't get weary in well doing. You don't stop living for God because you're impatient, because you're unhappy with the process. And so God said something to me. He said, I've given you grace for this wait. I am helping you through this wait because I was in a waiting room, and I was in a waiting room for a long time, right? During the 21 years. I was getting married at 25, I get married at 46. So it was at 21, 20 years in the waiting room. And so the key really is to just focus on your relationship with God. Fall in love with Him. I did a video on that. Really getting to know God. That's the spiritual part. Then there's a practical part. So I always give clients two perspectives. Spiritual, those are the Christian. Not Christian, I don't give them a spiritual perspective. But I have Christian clients, and they'll come to me because I'm a Christian therapist. I'll give you a Christian perspective, spiritual perspective, and I'll give you a practical perspective, because we don't live in the spirit. We are spiritual beings who live in a body, but we live in the real world. So I have to give you practical too. So from a spiritual point, you will never get this time by yourself again. So the hope is you get married, and you get married one time. So that's what I mean by that. So when I was single, that was all the time I was going to have. Because after you get married, it's you and your spouse and kids at some point, unless you already have them or you have them. But you're not going to get this time with you and God again. So you want to maximize that time because, you get up when you want on the weekend. You spend as much time with God as you want. On the weekday, you have your devotion with God. When you marry, that changes. And it's like sometimes you're fighting for your alone time. It's like, okay, we're going to do this day, we're going to do that. And you have to schedule God in. It's easier when you're single. So maximize this time you have with God. The scripture that says a single woman cares for the things of the Lord. A married woman cares for the things of her husband. And that is so true. When you are single, your focus should be on God, not where's my bag. And that's where I was. I've been there. So I'm getting ready to go out. I'm getting ready, looking cute, hoping to meet somebody. My focus is not on God. My focus is on meeting somebody. Then I go out and then I don't meet anybody and I'm disappointed. Why? Because that's what I expected. We get disappointed based on expectations. So I needed to change my perspective so that I wouldn't get disappointed by my expectations. So it's just focus on your relationship with God, hanging with, I know you're tired of hanging with them, but hanging with your girlfriends, your sister, your cousin, your mom, traveling, taking classes, doing these things while you have the time. And then when you get your bag, you can continue to travel with the kids, but you have to stay occupied. You can't be at home looking at four walls, okay? Because then you're gonna get depressed or even more depressed. So get out of the house, get you some vitamin D, see the world, and enjoy life. Because we think, get my battery low, y'all. Hold on. Plug out my laptop. Because we think that you can't have fun. It's like I want to do this, not do it till I get married. Now, there are some things I did hold off until I got married. That is true, but I still got out and I still did things. And so I get it, ladies. I know you're tired of going out and doing things by yourself, but I'd rather you go out and do things by yourself than stay at home and looking at walls. Okay. So have fun, plan your trip, save, talk to your financial plan. Get some things in order before you get married. But I'm saying don't let your focus be where is he? Where is he? I'm not gonna meet him today. I'm been there and that's not good. Because God is, he's a jealous guy. He's like, oh, okay, all your attention is on him. And it's like, hello, where's my time? And so I'm not saying you have to pray 8 hours a day, 3 hours a day. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying allow God to be your top priority. Then when you get married, he's still your top priority. So it's working on your relationship with God, get out the house, having fun, write a book, read books, do things that you're called to do. Focus on your purpose. Okay? You don't want a person to derail your purpose. And so you really want to make sure when you're courting to pray and ask God and make sure. Maybe that person is just a friend, a good friend, that you want to make sure. So take a class. Take a salsa class, Chicago Stepping, Lumiere Steppers on Meetup and on Eventbrite. My husband teaches step. And so just giving him a plug. And so, but have fun, do you, but don't let getting married be your focus, right? If you're celibate, hey, that's great. Meet other people that are celibate. Form a group. Have some people that you all can encourage one another because that's not an easy task being celibate and single now in today's society because there's so many distractions, there's so many sexual pictures, and that gets into your subconscious, right? So volunteer. There's so many things you can be doing as a single until God sends him, and he will send him when you least expect it. So what are some things you wanted to do that you haven't done? Do those things. Is it starting a business on the side? Hey, you can do something on the side to save up money for your wedding. Plan your wedding. My wedding was planned for years, okay? And I would I'll go to bridal shows, do that too, that's fun. I would go to different bridal shows, get all these ideas. And so I had it all planned out, colors, everything. And COVID hit, and that just totally ruined all my plans that I had all these years. So instead of me having 150 people at the wedding, I had 16. Instead of me having this huge wedding, I had a tiny wedding. But that's okay, because we had a 2-week honeymoon, and we went to 2 different places, and it was beautiful. So that's why I tell you, don't get caught up in no wedding. You want to focus on the marriage. Prepare yourself as you wait to be a wife. Study what that means. You have to really work on, especially you selfish, especially if you're single, no kids, you may have to work on selfishness, because that's what God had to work on me with. I had met my husband, God said, this is him, and then God said, but you're selfish. So I had to work on that. God didn't even put us together until I worked on that. Then he said, I want you to be quick to forgive. So I had to work on that. So I used to hold grudges. And these are things that God used to prepare me so that it wouldn't affect the marriage. Because if he didn't work on me with those issues, it would have amplified in the marriage. If I was selfish as a single, think how selfish I would have been married. If I had trouble forgiving single, think how much trouble I would have getting married. When you get married, you gotta forgive a lot. Okay? You gotta hold your tongue a lot. Because women, we like control and we are critical. And that's some stuff you gotta work on. Bridling your tongue. So work on you. Ask God, show you what things I need to work on, God, to prepare me for a wife. What is in me that is not pleasing to you? And that'll keep you busy alone. Plus working on your purpose. Plus going out and having fun. One of the things I did, I would go to a different park once a month because I love parks. I would go to a new restaurant. I would go to a new store. So every week I was doing something new because the brain likes when we do new things. Did I get tired of going out by myself? Absolutely. I got to a point where I didn't ask nobody to go out. I asked no friends. I asked nobody. I just went out by myself. I was just so tired of being in the waiting room. And so you want to wait with God, which is a plug for my book. As I talk about, my book is about waiting. I'm not going to tell you the title yet because you can't get it yet. But when you wait with God, that's different from waiting on God. You can also work against God when you're in the waiting room. So you're in the waiting room, you're waiting on a spouse. Waiting with God looks like talking to him. Like a family member or a friend has to go for surgery and you go, and they say, hey, you're going to be there for a couple of hours, and you go. But when you have someone with you that you can talk to them, y'all can go get something to eat, you're laughing, and you're just hanging out. That's what it's like waiting with God. You're talking to him. You're expressing how you feel. God, I'm tired of being in this waiting room. God, I want my husband. God, I want some sex. God, I want whatever. Talk to God about it. And he will strengthen you because he's giving you grace for the wait. Or you can work against him in the waiting room where you're complaining, irritable, frustrated. You may stop talking to him. You may stop going to church. You may not pray like you used to. You're working against him because in the waiting room, the purpose of the waiting room is to work on you. And if you're not submitted to the waiting room, you're going to prolong yourself being in the waiting room because you're working against God. You're fighting him. He's trying to grow you, but you're stopping your growth because of your attitude. It's jacked up. So you might as well learn how to wait with him, focus on purpose, focus on being a wife. God, what do I need to work on? Show me what it's like to be a wife. So you're working on all of that. But the main purpose is to work on you in the waiting room. But balance is the key to life. You got to get out the house, ladies. Okay? But don't go out expecting to meet somebody. Just go out knowing that I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to eat some good food. I'm going to meet some new people. Go out with that perspective. Not, am I going to meet him? Okay? Because then you're hyper-focused and you're have tunnel vision on the guy as opposed to the guy, God, working on that relationship. Making sure you're in love with God before he brings somebody for you to fall in love with down here. But the question is, are you in love with God? Are you talking about wanting to be in love with somebody else, right? So work on that and time will fly by. And when God sends them, you're going to have to pinch yourself and like, oh my goodness, is this real? When it happens, God's going to make up the time. From 25, thinking I'm going to get married. Well, I'm at 20, I'm going to get married at 25. Didn't happen until 46. But when I did meet him, God accelerated it. We got engaged, the first Sunday in August. We got married the same month. Okay? So we courted 8 months. 8 is new beginning. The 9th month, we got married. Then had a 2 came up. We went on our first real date. We had gone out before, but our official date, December 13th, 2019. January, we said we married counseling. Right before COVID. God is not a God of time. He don't look at no watch. He doesn't have a calendar in heaven. He's a God of timing. And his timing is perfect. You can't beat him in the waiting game. He is going to win. So you might as well wait with him. He knows what he's doing, and his timing is perfect. I assure you, as a witness. And even though I've been married almost 2 years, it feels like 10. That's how much God has sped up time. It seems like I was just single yesterday, but I wasn't. So God will speed up time. He will make your marriage glorious. He will do that for you because of your attitude, because of your obedience, because you waited with him and you didn't work against him in the waiting room. So I hope you got something out of today. Focus on your purpose. Focus on your relationship with God. Get out there, ladies. Have fun, but don't focus on where is he, because that's draining. It's not beneficial to you. So don't do that. Don't choose the latter. Choose the former. And so I encourage you to wait with God. Focus on your purpose, and he's coming before you know it. And God's going to bless your socks off. So thank you for tuning in. Soul Talk with Sonia. See you next time.